Say, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I haven't gotten a real big response to my last video, so I'm gonna hold off on it until I get more responses. Also need to go over the book again. And like I said in the last video, it's been a while. Um, so pretty much the only thing that's really stuck in my mind is the self-advocacy and the wellness tools. And so I guess I'm just gonna blog it out for a while until I decide what I'm gonna do. I'm feeling kind of frumpy and I'm really tired today, so um also getting kinda cabin feverish here. I cannot wear a mask. Um I can do a face shield for a short while, but there's no way I can wear a mask for any amount of time. They trigger really horrible panic attacks. So, guess what? I don't get to go anywhere. Where I'm at, it's mandatory to wear a mask when you go to any of even the little Dollar Tree up the street from me, where they all know me. And I tell them, hey, I have medical, reasons, which I do. I mean, people don't take mental health seriously, but I'll tell you, these panic attacks can be very serious. Um, I'm sure some of you who have had them can relate. I mean, you think you're gonna die. Um, I did try it when I was at the Costco, and I was so bad that the guy that was serving me told me to take it off. So, because I couldn't breathe, my chest was so tight, my head started to throb. You know, I get these piercing headaches right at the temple of my head. Um, and I think that's from a very specific reason. It's probably a memory. It's all memory. I had something very horrible happen to me, and I think I've talked about this before. So, anyways, I'm pretty much stuck here at home, and I can't drive, so getting a little cabin feverish. I've been doing a little bit of crafting lately. I made a wreath for my door, a little fall wreath, and did some coloring. I got me a cat coloring book. Of course, it's going to be cats. I'm just so addicted to cats, it's almost pathetic. I'd be one of those crazy cat ladies if I had the patience and the gumption. I mean, Rimp, my one cat, he's fine, and it would be nice to get him a brother or sister, but he's just way too old for that. And to be honest, he's so easy because he's an indoor-outdoor cat. He has a litter box, but he hardly uses it. So, as far as doing that, I go in there, I check it every day, but I get to maybe scoop one or two things out a week, and that only happens when he gets trapped in the house. So, I mean, you can't get much easier than that. The only place he really gets on my nerves is food. He thinks his throat's cut, which is okay because we're having a little trouble keeping weight on him. He's getting up there. He's 16 now. So, and they say that for an outdoor cat, that's pretty old. But, he still chases after rabbits and birds, and he doesn't chase very far. So, we had a stray wander in the yard the other day, and he chased him out. So he's still a pretty tough little guy. And so I'm trying to come up with ideas for this because I want to continue on. This is just as much for me as it is for you. So I can talk a little bit about some of what I've gone through in my lifetime. My first, I got put away when I was 13. I may have talked about this before. I should really go back and check my videos, but I have to admit, it's weird watching myself. I'm just not used to it yet. I'm watching myself right now because I got the selfie mode on. It's just easier for me. And so, after that, I was put away for like a month. And so I missed that much school. And I was already horribly behind in school. When I was in the third grade, they took me out of math and put me in speech therapy. And I stayed there for 3 years. So they pushed me on ahead to junior high school. And I didn't even know my times tables. And I knew my addition and subtraction, but I got my things backwards. When it said a minus sign, I would add it, and it had a plus sign, I would minus it. So I had a good teacher, though. He would take me out after school. We were really poor, and he had assumed that I didn't have like lunch money, and we weren't eating well at home because we were poor. So he would actually take me to Herfy's. This day and age is sad because teachers can't do this kind of thing with their students because everybody will jump on this bandwagon saying, well, he's grooming her for child abuse or whatever, which wasn't the case at all. This was just a simply nice, good teacher that wanted to help me genuinely. So he would take me to Herfy's, and we would sit there and have their little creative burger meals and work on math problems. And he always told me, if you have anything going on at home, just let me know, because everybody was suspicious of me, especially after I showed up at school with all these scratches on my face. My mom kind of beat the crap out of me. I deserved it, though. I have to admit it, I did deserve it. And you can sit there and say, no child deserves it. But, when I look back, my mother struggled and struggled to keep us together and to keep a roof over our head after my father got sick. We had absolutely no money. She was selling her prized possessions to the nearest pawn shop and antique stores just to put food on the table. And I sat there and we got in an argument about something. I wanted to go somewhere or something. I can't remember what the argument was about. But I told her this wasn't a home, it's a fucking hellhole. Quote unquote. That's what I said to her. And it just struck a nerve, I guess. And she just came up and just slapped it. Just bap, 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 bap on my face. Which, she wouldn't have hurt me except that she had pretty long claws. And I actually got sent to the school nurse the next day, and the school nurse, I tried to tell her that, yes, I'm being abused, and the nurse kind of looked at me funny and said, well, we'll just call your mom and see what happened. And at that point, I said, no, you don't have to do that, because I knew what would happen. See, this was back in the day when, yeah, you got the belt when you misbehaved. And, well, actually, I did get it once, but it was like across my thigh because I was hiding behind the door. And she was like having to chase me down. I got a hair driving me crazy here. But, yeah. So, it was kind of well known. I think nobody really talked about it, but everybody knew my mother was an alcoholic. And everybody knew that my father had special needs. You know, after his aneurysm, he just wasn't the same. I'll talk about him in the next video. So, kind of running out of time here. Like I've always said, I like to keep these kind of short. But, yeah, I've had a couple teachers that took me out just trying to help. And in this day and age, I find it sad that they're not allowed to do that. You know, because it did help me for a while. I mean, I was kind of a lost cause to begin with. And with my learning disabilities, they didn't really know how to deal with it. This was before they really knew how to treat and school people with special needs. Their special education classes they threw me in a portable with a bunch of unruly kids that they couldn't control in the classroom. So that didn't work out too well. But again, that'll probably be in another video. So I'll leave it for here. And like I said, I'll work on the rap book, and I'll be looking for comments whether you want me to continue doing rap or if you want me to continue doing my life story. I'll pretty much leave it up to you. And I look forward to your comments, letting me know which way you want to go. You're in control. You know, you dictate what I talk about. But as long as I'm not getting comments, I'm just going to talk about what comes to mind. I don't decide what I'm going to talk about when I sit down here. I just sit down and say, okay, what do we talk about today? So, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.